Haha, let's get this party started.
High def with the proof.
Greasy Says.
What it do, what it do, what it hit. What it do, what it do, yeah. 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 Crazy in the building, what it do, yeah. What it do, what it do, yeah. Greasy people on me, 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 on me. Greasy people on me, on me, on me, on me. Yo, greasy people on me, on me, on me, on me. Greasy people on me, on me, on me, on me. You need some greasy people on me, on me, on me, on me.
What the fuck is going on, greasy people? It's me, Greasy, and I would love to welcome you back to another episode of Greasy Says. It's my show. I am a game developer for 15 years. I've been doing this a long time. I'm a somewhat of a vet in the industry. I've been here for a while. And my job is to show y'all out there what it feels like to be a brown dude in the gaming industry, which is a predominantly white industry. I want to show y'all what that feels like. I want y'all to feel what that feels like. Sometimes it's not so different from how a white person might experience it. We all have similarities in life. This is the beauty of society. We can connect with anybody. But there are some unique circumstances and unique perspectives that me and people in the brown community, black community, non-white community experience, and we share a sort of we share the experience of being a game developer. Trans people have a unique experience. You know what I'm saying? Gay people have a unique experience. And so this is my experience. Thank you to everybody who's been listening. Thank you to all my greasy people out there. I just want to tell everybody, keep telling people about Greasy Says. Keep mentioning Greasy Says. At me on fucking social media. And very important, my wife told me to tell you guys this. You guys and gals this. Go to either Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts or anywhere you can rate this podcast on whatever platform you listen to. Please rate Greasy Says, because if you review the podcast, it'll help other people find the podcast. Because if someone's looking for some hot shit about games and they're looking for a particular niche, one of which I happen to occupy, right? It helps them find me. It helps them become greasy people like us. So it takes 30 seconds. You just go, you hit fucking whatever star you think the show deserves. And if you feel like writing some shit, it could be poetry, it could be dog shit. It's up to you. 30 seconds of your time. Go rate Greasy Says on whatever platform you listen to it. Pause right now. I'll let the beat run. I'm serious. I'll wait. I'm chilling right now.
Even waste my fucking time, yeah. Go fucking rate Greasy Says, yeah. What it do, yeah. Cause I need some greasy people on me, on me, on me. I need more greasy people on me, on me, on me.
Did you do it yet?
I need some people on me, on me, on me. Need some more greasy on me, on me, on me.
Did you do it yet? I won't start the show until you do it. I'm just kidding. I won't do that to you. So, update on me, right? My kid is amazing. He's growing every day. He's a new man every day. It's incredible to watch. You don't get it if you're not a parent, and it's probably super fucking boring if you're not a parent. So I'll try not to bore you for too long. But here's the thing. My son, he gets excited. When he gets excited, he sees me come downstairs or whatever, he gets really excited. And when he gets excited, he does this weird thing. He starts backing up. He like starts crawling backwards away. He'll be like mad excited and be like, yeah, what's up, man? And then he just start backing away from you. My son backs it up like a cougar at like 4 a.m. at the bar when like that Bon Jovi song come on or whatever the fuck they feeling. You know what I mean? That fucking Cisco song come on and they start backing it up. That's what my son does when he gets excited. You know what I mean? Let me see that. You know what I mean? Just backing it up. It's kind of disturbing. The Wolverine trailer for the game, the Wolverine game, that is being developed by the same folks. Who fucking made Spider-Man? Oh my God, I'm the worst. Insomniac made Spider-Man, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, if Insomniac didn't make Spider-Man, the latest Spider-Man, but they're making the new Wolverine game. What? My boy was mad excited about that, and then he was like,
You gotta check out the trailer.
And I went and checked out the trailer, and it's the most lackluster shit. It's a CG scene of Wolverine sitting on at the bar. A bunch of motherfuckers get beat up. He's still sitting at the bar, and then a dude get up, try to take him out, and then you see the snicked, his claws come out or whatever. That don't impress me, dog. I'm a game developer. I don't care about trailers, okay? I made 1 million trailers. I used to get super psyched about trailers, especially CG trailers, because they look so cool and everything. But that's not the fucking game. Don't lie to me. You're lying to me. I know you're lying to me with the beautiful graphics and the music and the pacing that have nothing to do with gameplay. But because Insomniac is behind it, I'm excited. How are they gonna pull it off? Which direction are they gonna go? Definitely gonna be third person, right? Has to be third person action. Has to be open world because, oh God, you can't have a game that's not open world anymore. God forbid you have a linear fucking game. Gotta be open world. I just wonder how they're gonna handle combat. They gotta bring it down to the ground, right? We're not flying through the air like Spider-Man. But are you gonna be crowd controlling? Is it gonna be like more like one-on-one Batman style, or is it gonna be like, well, Spider-Man and Batman have similar combat mechanics, but I feel like Spider-Man uses more of the vertical space and has like a wider range of combat around Spider-Man than Batman does. But either way, it's gonna be dope. Yo, Insomniac lining up the fucking Marvel exclusives over here. If you like Marvel shit and you want to work on some Marvel games, I suggest trying to get a job over fucking there. Good luck though, cause they got some talent over there. So you gotta be on top of your shit. Anyway, speaking of exclusives, Darkest Dungeon 2. Besides Frostpunk 2, Darkest Dungeon 2 is my most anticipated game. It's way the fuck up there. Mega game. They flipping the script on this shit too, because they go in full 3D, and they go in you're like one single hero party instead of 1 million, basically, pieces of meat for the grinder, which is what Darkest Dungeon 1 was. But I'm so psyched for Darkest Dungeon 2. I don't give a fuck. I'm getting it for sure. Even if they are exclusive to the Epic Store. Personally, I don't have a problem with exclusive deals, especially in the PC space, because that never really happened before Steam. And even Steam doesn't really have exclusives. But like, I'm like, I have a couple of questions about getting on the Epic Store. People, if you're listening out there and you're one of these business cats, or you're in publishing, or you're doing like work in community and you kind of know the trends, what is so spicy, what is so juicy about an Epic deal, about an Epic exclusivity deal? Are they giving you tons of money? Are they promising you promotion? Like, are the terms of the deal really good for you? Like, it's like you're exclusive for a year and then you could go sell it anywhere else. How is the deal structured when you get an exclusive deal with Epic Games? Very curious about that. Reach out to me. Greasy Says on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, fucking LinkedIn. I'm not on LinkedIn, but like, find me and tell me if you're one of these people in this space. How do those deals work? And why doesn't Steam try to get exclusives? Is that because they are majority market holders? You know what I mean? They have most of the market, so they don't give a fuck. And we need to keep shoveling cheeseburgers into Gabe Newell's face? I don't know. I need answers. The Blizzy saga continues. Activision Blizzard saga continues. Fucking, I mentioned in fucking whatever episode I was talking, the Blizzy episode, go back, listen to that. about how like Bobby Kotick comes out in his fucking grandpa sweater and is like, I care about developers, and the way they handled it was tone deaf and all this bullshit. They subpoenaed his ass. The federales got involved. Haha, federales came through and they subpoenaed his fucking ass, which is smart because that guy's been there from way back and set up probably a lot of the culture at that fucking studio. So I'm glad the federales were like, wait a minute, let's follow this trail real quick and find out who the real demons are. Yeah, I'm super psyched that the feds are involved. This means this is a major case, and it's only because Activision and Blizzard make so much fucking money that the feds are involved. Who knows where this is gonna go? Way too early to tell. They're gonna be ducking shit like crazy. They're probably gonna lawyer up even more than they lawyered up already. This shit is gonna be a knockdown drag out. Silently, it's gonna be a cold war, yo. Cold fucking war. You ain't gonna hear about shit until it's done. And then the shit is gonna be like, oh, we paid off this motherfucker over here, we paid these people and money in the right pockets, and boom, 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 we back to business. Call me jaded. You know what I mean? If I see different results, I'll change my fucking tune. I'ma stay jaded for the moment, because I'm greasy like that. Coming back around to what it's like to be a black, in this case, game developer, or fucking tech person, or fucking anything, just existing while being black. You see, fucking Google, a product manager from Google was stopped by security, and they didn't believe he fucking worked there, and they escorted him out the fucking building, even though he works there and he's a fucking product manager at Google. Why? Why would they think, this a bunch of fucking people walk into the building, you might not know who the fuck they are, you might be new at security, I get that, but you know, when you see a black dude roll up, y'all feeling a little different, y'all feeling a little scared. Is that what, he gonna steal all the computers? Listen, I build a lot of computers. Computers are heavy. A single black dude with maybe a backpack, I don't know what he was wearing. He might have had a camping backpack, but max, even if it was ITX, he walking out of there with 2 computers. So he's not really that big of a threat. Okay? Yo, Google spokesperson said they take the workers' concerns very seriously or whatever. Google's ain't gonna do shit about it. This is not even really like a fucking story in terms of Google practices, because yeah, Google's a kind of a shit house, but this is a societal problem. You know what I mean? We still in even with Black Lives Matter, even with all this wokeness going on out here, and people acting like they fucking woke. If a black dude walk into a expensive ass tech company building, he's still getting stopped and looked at in a different way, regardless if he worked there or not. You know what I mean? It's fucked up, but it's the way society is, especially in the fucking States. You know what I mean? So I feel bad for the dude. I feel bad for you, dog. I've been there. I've definitely been there, where a motherfucker was like,
you don't work here?
I'm like, yeah, I do work here. I worked there before you was fucking working here. And they didn't believe me, and they wouldn't let me up if I forgot my key card or some shit like that. That shit happens all the fucking time. That's what it's like, being a brown, black, whatever, non-white person, working in these fucking, you know, high-rise buildings, getting paid my loot for these big-ass fucking tech companies. The shit don't change. The shit don't change just because we're a bunch of educated motherfuckers and we acting like we woke and we paying attention to what's going on in the news. It doesn't change our instinctive motives, our reactive feelings. That shit's bred in for generations. Hard to kick that shit. We gotta work on it. It can improve, but it's gonna take mad work. A lot more work than jumping on Twitter and fucking pasting some shit you saw. Or being on Instagram and quoting some fucking picture of some struggling ass black person making coffee or some shit. Okay? Y'all get me. Hey. I start talking about Google, I get heated every time. What's the fucking deal? Google just pissed me off. I mean, fuck. All right, let's start the show, y'all.
Today's key is...
Age ain't nothing but a number. Getting down ain't nothing but a lane.
Are you a game dev over 40? How about over 50? Ooh, how about over 60? Is that possible? Do your thumbs even work, Gandalf? Video games have long been considered a young person's interest. When I was coming up, my mom and her friends were convinced that video games were a waste of time. My mom didn't even buy me my first console, I bought it, which turned out to be an incredible lesson in self-reliance, motivation, and understanding money on her part, so bravo, ma. Even now, when I talk to folks involved in the HBCU community and parents of kids today, some of whom are younger than me, there's still this general view that video games as a profession is a pipe dream. A silly hobby that will eventually fizzle out, like vaping or the pornography. Well, needless to say, video games didn't fizzle out for me, and thousands of others who turned their love of games into careers. Streamers, pro gamers, journalists, venture capitalists, entrepreneurs, and developers all started as kids with a dream to be part of the magic of the video game industry.
Everybody's got a dream.
We grew up and started creating entertainment for the next generation. A great responsibility, one of which we may or may not have botched, but that's like a talk for like another time.
Some other time. Some other time.
What I want to talk about today is a realization I'm coming to recently. I think I'm part of the older game dev community. You know what I mean? Like, there are many others like me. We all grew up as gamers, and we grew up as developers. We grew up as gamers and as people, and we changed the industry. Some of us fought for characters we wanted to see in games, stories we wanted to hear, perspectives and worlds we wanted to fashion and experience. We started creating the games we wanted to play. But as we grew, quietly in the background, something happened in plain sight, but nobody noticed. We got old.
You old and you funky. You old and you funky. Ew, you old and you funky. You old, you old, you old. Trying to get that Medicate.
I look at all the guys, because frankly, there weren't many women making games that I knew about coming up. And they're all old guys now. All the great designers and creators out there are in their 50s and 60s now. Maybe even older. I mean, Shigeru Miyamoto, the coolest name in the fucking world. He might be childlike forever because of the games he makes. But isn't that dude like 157 years old? Sid Meier, Gabe Newell, Tim Schafer, Eiji Aonuma, Hideo Kojima, David Jaffe? Is it Jaff or Jaffe? I never knew. All these guys are over 50. Legendary developers, but all of them are over 50. Does that make them any less brilliant or relevant? As gamers get younger and developers get younger, I wonder if there will be a disconnect culturally around the issue of age. I wonder if that generational bias will start affecting who can get jobs in games. You know what I'm saying? Whose ideas get listened to. I've been in many a meeting where junior team members or cats fresh out of college enthusiastically contribute to meetings, oozing with ideas, only to be shot down over and over because of generational politics.
You don't know what you're talking about, kid. You haven't been doing this for as long as I have. Why, back in my day, I gave John Carmack a foot massage and he told me that rendering technology is the secret to great games, not gameplay.
The old guard does have a way of hoarding the gold, so to speak. They act like they need to protect the keys to game design from inexperienced game devs. For what reason, I don't fucking know. They need to impose their sensible will upon the fate of game development practices and uphold the purity of game design, like they're a troll under a fucking bridge.
You cannot pass. Try and I shall flay thine ass.
I've been there. It's aggravating. It's belittling. It makes you feel like they think you're dumb. It makes you feel like the elder devs don't respect you. And some of them don't. But getting my ideas shot down did thicken my skin, and it made me softer, especially to younger devs who are so full of piss and vinegar that they might come across as hasty, perhaps inexperienced. With age comes wisdom, and most importantly, perspectives. Old folks just have that. More perspective because they've been alive for more time. That's why grandma always has all the answers. But do the young generation of developers have patience? Do they have perspective? Do they value what older devs bring to the table on a team? There's no doubt that there's a prejudice against old people, right? They're slow, stubborn, they have antiquated ideas, they take a long time to say everything. They're usually more racist than the last generation. They get sick more often. I mean, just hurry up and die, old man. People calling folks boomers and exposing how backwards the old guard is. I feel like it's only recently that people have started asking why the fuck all these 70 and 80-year-old people run the country. There's this idea that older folks are out of touch and should be put out to pasture. I mean, don't kids say that nearly anything an older person does is cringe? That shit's hilarious to me. There is some truth to this, though, as some older folks are less likely to change and take on new ideas. It's just facts. I've seen this in game development where older devs would rather rehash old ideas and systems rather than make new ones or break any sort of mold. Older folks have a tendency to homogenize and bastardize youth culture as a way to appear relevant, kind of like those old gaming commercials from the 90s. Also, older folks tend to hold on to sexism, even if it's subconscious, and you end up hearing female team members being talked down to, or called disagreeable, emotional, and all the things I mentioned back in fucking episode 3. And let's not forget the super obvious, but somehow always overlooked, systemic racism that exists within the older guard. The look you get from both older men and women when you walk into a high-level meeting wearing that luxurious ass brown skin, the way they fidget in their seats as they try to stuff down years of conditioning, the way they throw in slang when they talk to you to try and impress you and fill the air with their own voice, desperately trying to suppress their own feelings of,
Fuck! Change is coming. Change is coming.
Some old folks have a hard time letting go of their youth, which makes it hard to accept youth replacing them. They put up walls and sandbag young devs. Unfortunately, doing that just pushes more young people away.
Don't push me away.
But on the other hand, young folks treat old folks like an old iPhone that doesn't have USB-C charging. Like,
What the fuck are you doing here, TED Talk?
I think both generations bring important value to game development. Older devs have tricks and tips, techniques in creating games that save time and effort. They have a deeper understanding of where games have been and how the simple ideas of the past are still relevant today. They've seen games come and go. They've seen what fails and what makes waves. They've figured out how to navigate office politics. They're masters of subtlety, some of them. They know how to be present without being overbearing or quote unquote too much. They know how not to try so hard and how to temper their emotions. They know how to be engaged in a meeting without saying much and slide in at the last second with a single poignant comment or design tweak that inspires the entire room. I've definitely seen that. Oldies make great executives. They tend to have more patience and a longer view because of all that experience, which is beneficial when making deals and forming relationships with publishers and board members and all those fucking people. Oldies also have learned work-life balance, a trait usually sorely missing in younger devs. On the other hand, though, younger devs bring enthusiasm, energy, and hope to a team. Whenever I feel like a crusty-ass old developer, hanging around younger devs rejuvenates me. Younger devs have fresher, dangerous, riskier ideas. They don't care about the past because they're busy making the future. Younger devs usually play more games too, so they're more in touch with new game mechanics and new models. Younger devs also tend to know a wider range of development programs and tend to be more hacky with their tools. Being broke and wanting to make video games can make you pretty resourceful. I've found out about all kinds of hacky tools, free VSTs, converters, weird one-off synths, from plucky devs who used to have to use them in college because they couldn't afford the real thing, or they had to get hacked. They had to get hacks or whatever, but shit. So whether you're a whippersnapper or a crusty old donut, we all have our place. We all contribute to this industry. Patience and empathy like with all things, will help us get along. Let's not turn on each other and fuck this whole thing up. Game players don't need to be a certain age, and neither do us developers. I just spilled fucking water everywhere. I didn't even realize I spilled it. I thought I was good. Wrong, it's fucking everywhere. Great. I'll be back. I'll be back in a second. Yeah, I always think about that, like becoming the old dev. Like there's something I really like about people who know how to age gracefully. Like I get real cringy when I see somebody fighting to be young. They're just trying so hard to be young and trying to be, totally up to speed with all the shit that young people are doing. It's kind of like embarrassing to me sometimes. I'm just like, get old, motherfucker. It's cool. Put on your loafers and go take a walk. Go take a flight of stairs with your badass knees. You know what I mean? So like, especially as a game dev, I want to be in touch with what's new, what's coming out and all that. But I'm not trying to appear like some young, fucking 14-year-old Twitch streamer or shit talking like young people and all that shit. I have no problem getting old. But I know that there's like this, there's some hate for old people because old people stupid sometimes. So I just hope that, we don't, like I said, we don't turn on each other and shit. I did have this one experience that made me feel fucking ancient. I was working on a game and we were playtesting it. And the playtest came back. It was like a handful of people. Playtests will fuck you up. But it was like a handful of people, maybe 10 people, 15 people or something like that. And one of the comments from one of the testers was like, this game feels like it was made by a bunch of fucking old people. I was like, damn, bruh. You ain't gotta say it like that, you fucking prepubescent fucking kid. You gotta be like that. I got offended. I mean, they were right though. They were right. The vibe that some of the shit we was working on did have a kind of older take. The style was a little bit older. But damn, bro, you ain't gotta fucking put it out like that. Playtest, boy. Playtest will make you feel like go from feeling like $1 million to like a penny. But I also remember looking at some of the older devs that I came up with, and they were in their like director positions or whatever. And I used to think, these motherfuckers don't know what the fuck they talk. They don't know what's good. They don't know good music. They don't know good fucking movies. They don't know good art. They don't know nothing. They don't know fashion. You're looking all crusty. Your shit is all fucked up. Why don't you comb your hair? You know what I mean? And like I used to think they were mad boring because I want to go out and party and drink and smoke and do all kind of wild shit, fuck around with people. And they wanted to fucking go home to their families. You know what I mean? And I used to think that's corny as fuck. Or like I would be on a trip. I went on this trip with this motherfucker, a business trip, to record some VO. And I'm like, yo, it's the end of the day. The session's over. We've been in this fucking studio for like 6 hours. Let's get the fuck out there and fucking see the town and wild out. And he was like, nah, I'm going back to my hotel room. I'm going to fucking eat some ice cream. And I'm calling my kids on the phone with video chat with my fucking kids. And I was like, this dude is corny as shit. But now I get it. Because if I go on a business trip now and I'm fucking around talking to all these people all day long, the last thing I want to do is go out and party at night. Well, maybe not the last thing. I mean, I still like to throw down and shit. I still like, I still make time for that shit. But I get the like, yo, I'm going back to the room. Get me back on the plane. I'm going back to my family. I understand that now. Perspective is a crazy thing. And that's what old people have. And I don't give a fuck who you are. If you young, you don't have that perspective. Period. You could be the wisest motherfucker in your group of friends, the wisest motherfucker on your block. You could be, you know what I mean? You like an old man. You like an old head. You got that old head energy. You still don't have experience, ma'am. You still ain't, you know? That only time gives you that shit. And like, time is a great teacher. And that's what all these older devs have is time. Time and perspective. You get me?
Dope or dumb?
You guys ever hear about Zoomers? Zoomers. I didn't know about this shit. It's apparently the name for Gen Z. Did y'all know that? I didn't know that. Did y'all know that? So like millennials versus Gen Z, right? I guess I am kind of almost a millennial because like millennials are like from 85 onward, right? Up to a certain point. And then Gen Z is from 95 onward, from 1995 onward. So they call them like, just like young people call old people boomers. I guess old people calling young people zoomers. It's the dumbest shit ever. It doesn't fucking matter. We're all idiots. Holy shit, I dropped it again. What is going on with me today? It's my old brain, y'all. The reflexes aren't what they used to be. Wow, time really got away from me today. Talking about old people. Maybe that's a sign that I'm old. I've rambled on for fucking ever and I lost track of time. That's something that old people do. Quick listener submission. Kind of a listener submission. Somebody hit me up and told me, good to see you speaking truth and cooking chicken. Now, you might not understand the cooking chicken part. That's because on TikTok, a young person's platform, full circle, am I doing it? On TikTok, I do cooking videos like every few Fridays or at some schedule. I can't remember what it is. And I'm out there cooking food, and I guess I must have cooked some chicken. I could have taken this as like a racist thing. I'm out here cooking chicken, but I didn't. I'm not trying to be that sensitive. You know what I mean? Come on, relax. It's all good. But I'm glad to hear that people are out there taking it in and they like me speaking my truth and cooking my chicken. All right, let's wrap it up. And let's find a little gratitude in our
Medicate and meditate.
This week, I'd love to celebrate 5 things that are great about being an old fuck. Number 1, going to bed early. There's something about it. For many years, for many a year, I and many of my friends would stay up until the wee hours of the morning, writing music, playing games, fucking around, drinking beers. Nowadays, there's something really sweet about going to bed at 9:30 p.m. It sounds sad, and it probably is, but I won't know, because I'll already be asleep. Number 2, no age restrictions on the games I can buy. Sure, if you're under 17, there are restrictions on what types of games you can purchase. Rated M for mature means your ass can't buy it. You can't get that new GTA, but you'll probably find a way to get it anyway, because nobody upholds those fucking age restrictions anyway. Number 3, being comfortable in really, really short pants. As a youth, I would consider short pants on men kinda stupid. And gross. It looks weird. And gross. Your bony knees and thighs exposed. You're not sexy in shorts, I used to think. People who wear shorts are not sexy. They're gross. But as an older gentleman, I could give 2 fucks about what's sexy, 'cause I'm old. So I can wear my disgusting short pants for everyone to see and silently judge me. Number 4, no more drama. My oh my, in my 20s and 30s, the drama I would get into. The fights, the screaming, the wackiness, the debauchery. Getting myself into situations that made my life a living hell. Because I didn't know any better, because I was young and stupid. But now as an old fuck, I'm drama-free. Sure, my life is boring, but there's no drama in a boring life. And number 5, I'm more comfortable than ever in my own skin. When young people say I don't give a fuck, it's not true.
They really do give a fuck. They give a lot of fucks. But an old person doesn't even have to say I don't give a fuck, because they don't need to tell anyone that they don't give a fuck. They're comfortable in their own skin. They have nothing to prove to anyone. And I just can't put a price on that. If you're an old fuck like me, what are you grateful for, you crusty old crab?
I'm kidding, you're not a crusty old crab. You're beautiful in your own wrinkly way. Listen, guys, I may be shitting on myself for being old, and I might be shitting on young people for being young. But we're all in the same boat. We're all just trying to make it. We're all trying to be happy. We're all trying to make great games. Let's just get out there and make great games together. Let's feed off of each other's experiences and bring those into the games that we make. You know what I'm saying? Old man at the top, you sitting there in your fucking slacks and in your swirly chair in your office with your mahogany desk. Why don't you go have a fucking tuna sandwich with some of the younger cats on your team, or the younger cats at your studio? And younger people, why don't you go help old Jeff over here across the street to get into the studio safely so he doesn't kill himself and break a hip? You know what I mean? He's, trying to skateboard and be young with you guys. Okay, don't let the old folks skateboard or dunk basketballs. It's gonna end badly. Their bones are brittle. So be safe out there. So that's it. That's another episode of Greasy Says. Once again, I want to ask people to please rate this show on Google Podcasts, on Apple Podcasts. Just take 5 seconds and give me a rating. That'll help other people find the podcast. I appreciate you. Hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok under Greasy Says. Hit me up on Spotify, Bandcamp, and Soundcloud under the name M-Cue. That's M-CUE. Ask me questions. Give me keys to perform on the show. Show me love. Show me hate. Do whatever you gotta do. Put more grays in my beard. I don't give a fuck. I love and appreciate every single one of you listening. Even the ones catching up. We're here. We ain't going nowhere. We got more episodes to come. Let's finish out the year strong. All right? Greasy people! Thank you for coming out. Remember, like, subscribe, comment, give me feedback on the show. Tell me to take my Viagra. And until next time, it's me, Greasy. And I forgot where I put the room key.
Laters.